Howdy folks, Keywii here, and welcome back to The Longing, a safe space on which to be awesome, where we are, of course, working and working and working away. So when we last left off, I set him to dig, and then I said, hey, go nuts, and then I left. And then, although it says it's been like 13 days, it's only been 4. So anyway, let's see how far I will get. I'm gonna have him dig some more. And that's what we're going to be doing for the next half hour. No. But I do want to get some of this done, and then I want to do a little bit of reading. Maybe I don't have anything planned until about 3 in-game days from now. That's when 1 month will have passed, and then I will go. I will go up to presumably the library, and then we'll be great. So we're just gonna dig. We're just gonna dig on dig. We're gonna dig. And that's what we're going to do today. We're going to watch that happen, and, honestly, I should have more interesting things planned. But hey, whatever. That's just the way of it. So how you guys doing? You doing great? I would hope so. But yeah, no, because of how much time passes by, now, it's just good. It's just good. Yeah, so how you guys doing? You doing great? I would hope so. Honestly, I think I'm doing pretty great. Having a good old day. It was grocery day today, so I bought some pizza, and it's gonna be awesome. But yeah, no, let's see here. After I do a little bit of digging, I'm not gonna dig the whole episode, obviously not, but after I do a little bit of this, I'm going to read on, maybe make a new picture? Maybe get a new crystal. Yeah, that's what I could do. Because I'm still waiting for the month to pass. So, next recording session would be great. But, I'm going to wait for the month to pass. I'm going to go up to, presumably the library. Because that's what the map showed me. You go over the water. I mean, it's probably fine now. But it said a month, so we're going to wait a month. Anyway, now that we have a mattock, we could actually go up top and dig there. That sounds like a good old time. Now, I don't know what exactly I will find or what will happen or whatever, but I do have my mattock, and that's what's good. So, yeah, I'll tell you guys what. So we're going to do this, and then we're going to go get a crystal, and then we're going to go up top and choose one of the 4 directions I can go and dig one of them. I don't know where I'm going or why, but, up top, as far as possible. That's a good time. That's gonna be digging. Gonna dig a damn hole. But hey, in the meantime, we got our house moving. And for all those who are, I guess everyone who is watching is using the YouTube scroll at the bottom. Let's see here. Probably, I don't know, like here or something. You scroll along, you see the tunnel being built. It'll be great. It'll be so great. And you know what? If I could do that in real life, that'd be so swell. It'd be awesome. And I would have a grand old damn time. Right, so. There's just nothing to fucking talk about. Man, I gotta think these episodes through better, because half an hour long, you don't get a lot. You don't have a lot to do in half an hour. I mean, I've already made it 4 minutes. That's over 10%. And that's pretty cool. So, what to talk about? I try not to be too real with it. I was about to go into a topic. I'm like, nah, probably don't want to do that. Probably too real, Hang on, I got a text message here. Let me quickly skim this and see what happens. All right, so it was a funny text. All right, so honestly, we've made great progress so far. So here's what's gonna happen. I'm gonna go for the next 15 seconds, let's say, and then I'm gonna go do something else. When the episode is over, I'll come back and then I'll do a bunch of I'll do a bunch of this off camera. That way you don't have to sit here watching the whole damn time, you know? Some things don't need to be seen. And that's perfectly acceptable. Now, it does go a little bit against what I was saying previously, which is, oh yeah, do the blah, blah, blah sort of thing. But no, it's great. It's great. So, do I stop at 5, or do I keep going? I don't know. Let me consider this for a while while it happens around us. Let me consider. Do I continue mining this hallway down here? Do I continue doing that, or do I move on? Now, that's a real question, isn't it? And what is a question but a curious search for answers? Hi, Michael, Vsauce. No, sorry. But yeah, no, I'm just sitting here, just doing my thing, mining out. Every time the pixel moves, it looks kind of like a mouth that's like partially opened, and every time it moves back, it looks like the creature is receding, and that's pretty neat. What kind of crystal would I want? Would I go for the red one or the white one? You know, I feel like I want the red one. Not just because it's closer, though that is part of the thing why. But, I think I just want a red crystal. That'd be great. That'd be awesome to have. Let's see here. Also, I might change these episodes to be 20 minutes instead of 30. I mean, 30 if I have something, like, big to do. But currently 20 because, there's not a lot to do besides the things that take a while. And I don't know. Ooh, I'm getting eaten up by this hole here. Being swallowed. Look at me. Look at me. Most of me is gone. That's just how it goes, you know. Honestly, not much would change with my thoughts. So I can't... Well, I mean, I can read that, but there'd be no point to. Yeah, I'll tell you what. At the 10-minute mark, and I am being serious this time. At the 10-minute mark, I'm going to read a book. One of the shorter ones. I read The Goose Girl, and that one was pretty decent. One of the shorter books, and then we'll call that an episode. Yeah, see? And the next time we tune in, we'll go check out the library, and then go up top and do some digging up there, and it'll be grand. It'll be grand. So, ooh. Why did I stop? Why did I honestly didn't expect to stop. Alright, I guess we're going up. Guess it's time to read now. Honestly, fuck it. Let's go get ourselves a red crystal. Let us go get us a red Christus. Ooh, pick up. Pick that up. Pick it up, pick it up. Yeah. Now, should I make a fire? I don't particularly need a fire. Now, let's sit down. Let's take a look at our page counts for the books we haven't read yet. So, let's read a book. So, let's see here. We got Goose Girl. Oh, screen froze. Oh, big old screen freeze. There you go. Yeah, read that. Read my thoughts, and that's pretty great. Six Swans, not so much. I read this. Alright, so let's turn off auto reading first and foremost. So we read The Goose Girl, we read Poems 2. So we have 4 more to get through, currently. Alright, you know what? Let's read The Six Swans. Once on a time, a king was hunting in a great wood, and he pursued a wild animal so eagerly that none of his people could follow him. When evening came, he stood still and looked round him. He found that he had lost his way, and seeking a path, he found none. Then, all at once, he saw a woman with a nodding head coming up to him, and it was a witch. "My good woman," said he, "can you show me the way out of the wood?" "Oh, yes, my lord king," answered she. "Certainly I can, but I must make a condition. If you do not fulfill it, you will never get out of the wood again and die there of hunger." "What is the condition?" asked the king. "I have a daughter," said the old woman, who is as fair as any in the world. And if you take her for your bride and make her queen, I will show you the way out of the wood." The king consented, because of the difficulty he was in, and the old woman led him into her little house. The Six Swans is the name of this one, so no clue as to what's going on there. Into the little house, and there her daughter was sitting by the fire. She received the king just as if she had been expecting him, and though he saw that she was very beautiful, she did not please him, and he could not look at her without an inward shudder. Nevertheless, he took the maiden before him on his horse, and the old woman showed him the way. And soon he was in the royal castle again, where the wedding was held. The king had been married before, and his first wife had left 7 children, 6 boys and 1 girl, whom he loved better than all the world. And as he was afraid the stepmother might not behave well to them, and perhaps would do them some mischief, he took them to a lonely castle standing in the middle of a wood. There they remained hidden, for the road to it was so hard to find that the king himself could not have found it, had it not been for a clue of yarn. Don't know what a clue is in this context. Somebody give me a clue. Possessing wonderful properties that a wise woman had given him, when he threw it down before him, it unrolled itself and showed him the way. And the king went so often to see his dear children that the queen was displeased at his absence, and she became curious and wanted to know what he went out into the woods for so often alone. She bribed his servants with much money, and they showed her the secret, and told her of the clue of yarn, which alone could point out the way. Then she gave herself no rest until she had found out where the king kept the clue. And then she made some little white silk shirts and sewed a charm in each, as she had learned witchcraft of her mother. And once when the king had ridden to the hunt, she took the little shirts and went into the wood, and the clue of yarn showed her the way, and the children, seeing someone in the distance, thought it was their dear father coming to see them, and came jumping for joy to meet him. Then the wicked queen threw over each one of the little shirts, and as soon as the shirts touched their bodies, they were changed into swans, and flew off the 6 swans. Oh no. Where was I? And flew away through the wood. So the queen went home very pleased to think she got rid of her stepchildren. So the king was right then. Yeah. But the maiden had not run out with her brothers, and so the queen never knew about her. Ah, there you go. The next day the king went to see his children, but he found nobody but his daughter. "Where are thy brothers?" asked the king. "Ah, dear father," answered she, "they are gone away and have left me behind." And then she told him how she had seen from her window her brothers in the guise of swans fly away through the wood. And she showed him the feathers which they had let fall in the courtyard, and which she had picked up. The king was grieved, but he never dreamt that it was the queen who had done this wicked deed. And as he feared lest the maiden also should be stolen away from him, he wished to take her away with him. But she was afraid of the stepmother, and begged the king to not let her remain one more night in the castle in the wood. Then she said to herself, "I must stay here no longer, but go and seek for my brothers." And when the night came, she fled away and went straight into the wood. She went on all that night and the next day, until she could no longer go. Until she could go no longer for weariness. Language changes. At least she saw a rude hut. What? At last she saw a rude hut, and she went in and found a room with 6 little beds in it. She did not dare to lie down in one, but she crept under one and lay on the hard boards and wished for night. When it was near the time of sun setting, she heard the rustling sound. The 6 swans came flying in at the window. Oh, excuse me. They alighted on the ground and blew at one another until they had all blown all their feathers off, and then they stripped off their swan skin as if it had been a shirt, and the maiden looked at them and knew them for her brothers. and was very glad and crept from under the bed. The brothers were not less glad when their sister appeared, but their joy did not last long. You must not stay here, said they to her. This is a robber's haunt, and if they were to come and find you here, they would kill you. And cannot you defend me? Asked the little sister. No, answered they, for we can only get rid of our swanskins and keep our human shape every evening for a quarter of an hour. But after that we must be changed again into swans. Their sister wept at hearing this, and said, Can nothing be done to set you free? Oh, no, answered they. The work would be too hard for you. For 6 whole years you would be obliged to never to speak or laugh, and make during that time 6 little shirts out of aster feathers. If you were to let fall a single word before the work is ended, all would be no good. And just as the brothers had finished telling her this, the quarter of an hour came to an end, and they changed into swans and flew at the window. Because, when in Rome. But the maiden made up her mind to set her brothers free, even though it should cost her her life. She left the hut, and going into the middle of the wood, she climbed a tree, and there passed the night. The next morning she set to work and gathered asters, and began sewing them together. As for speaking, there was no one to speak to, and as for laughing, she had no mind to it. So she sat on and looked at nothing but her work. When she had been going on like this for a long time, it happened that the king of that country went a-hunting in the wood, and some of his huntsmen came up to the tree in which the maiden sat. They called out to her, saying, Who art thou? But she gave no answer. Come down, cried they. We will do thee no harm. But she only shook her head. And when they tormented her further with questions, she threw down to them her gold necklace, hoping they would be content with it. But they would not leave off. So she threw down to them her girdle, and when that was no good, her garters, and one after another everything she had on and could possibly spare, until she had nothing left but her smock. But all was no good. The huntsmen would not be put off any longer, and they climbed the tree, carried the maiden off, and brought her to the king. The king asked, Who art thou? What wert thou doing in the tree? But she answered nothing. He spoke to her in all the languages he knew, but she remained dumb. You can't say but 2 times. Anyway. But being very beautiful, the king inclined to her, and he felt a great love rise up in his heart toward her, and casting his mantle around her, he put her before him on his horse and brought her to his castle. Then he caused rich clothing to be put upon her, and her beauty shone as bright as the morning. But no word would she utter. He seated her by his side at table, and her modesty and gentle moon, so pleased him, that he said, This maiden I choose for wife, and no other in the world. And accordingly, after a few days, they were married. I'm not sure where this is going. But the king had a wicked mother. Wait, is this a different king? Who was displeased with the marriage and spoke ill of the young queen. Who knows where the maid can have come from, said she, and not able to speak a word? She is not worthy of a king. I only have so many female voices. After a year had passed, and the queen brought her first child into the world, the old woman carried it away and marked the queen's mouth with blood as she lay sleeping. Then she went to the king and declared that his wife was an eater of human flesh. The king would not believe such a thing and ordered that no one should do her any harm. And the queen went on quietly sewing the shirts and caring for nothing else. The next time that a fine boy was born, the wicked stepmother used the same deceit, but the king would give no credence to her words, for he said, She is too tender and good to do any such thing. And if she were only not dumb and could justify herself, then her innocence would be as clear as day. When the third time the old woman stole away the newborn and accused the queen, who was unable to say a word in her defense, the king could do no other but give her up to justice, and she was sentenced to death by fire. The day on which her sentence was to be carried out was the very last one of the 6th year of the years during which she had neither spoken nor laughed, to free her brothers from the evil spell. The 6 shirts were ready, all except one which wanted the left sleeve, and when she had led to the pile of wood, she carried the 6 shirts on her arm, and when she mounted the pile, and the fire was about to be kindled, all at once she cried out aloud, for there were 6 swans coming flying through the air, and she saw that her deliverance was near, and her heart beat for joy. The swans came close up to her with rushing wings, and stooped round her, so that she could throw the shirts over them. And when that had been done, the swan skins fell off them, and her brothers stood before her in their own bodies, quite safe and sound. But as one shirt wanted the left sleeve, so the youngest brother had a swan wing instead of a left arm. They embraced and kissed each other, and the queen went up to the king, who looked on full of astonishment, and began to speak to him and say, this is her. Dearest husband, now I may dare to speak and tell you that I am innocent, and have been falsely accused. And she related to him the treachery of the stepmother, who had taken away the 3 children and hidden them, and she was reconciled to the king with great joy, and the wicked stepmother was bound to the stake on the pile of wood and burnt to ashes. The king and the queen lived many years with their 6 brothers in peace and joy. Man, fucking stories are crazy, man. Alright, so, I've now read Thoughts, the Goose Girl, Poems 2, and The 6 Swans. This one's too long, this one's definitely too long, and this one's definitely too long. So I'm not reading those today. But, how the time flies, I should be reading more. But it is time to call it an episode and go a-mining. Because, dear viewers, there is a lot at stake here. I need to dig out this area. I don't know how long it'll take, but definitely, I need to do this. Pick up? Nah, that ain't me. I'm gonna dig this out off camera, and it's gonna be grand. I have, let's see, when's the next time I record this? Use the Matic. Let's see how far I will get. But yeah, I am going to call an episode here early. I know it's normally half an hour, and I do understand that, and I do respect that. But I just want to say, thank you guys so much for watching. Of course, I'm Keywii. It's been great to you and yourself a delightful day. I love you all. Goodbye. Mwah. Goodbye.